My parents' 56th wedding anniversary is today, May 18th. I figured it would be fitting to repost the interview I made with them last year.
Enjoying the beach?
Yeah.
Is it okay in the next couple days to ask you a couple questions about like your 55 years coming up?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
These are my parents. What's your first name?
Sylvia.
And Daryl.
So, Dad, you're a nurse like I am. And do you have any unique connection with Evan?
Oh, definitely. I was one of his night nurses for 2 or 3 years when he was very little.
And you mentioned he would do something unique after he had a seizure.
Oh, it was amazing. When I first started, I'd never had a patient close up like that overnight that had seizures. Well, he would go into a seizure and he became quite tonic, which means he'd tense up and his eyes would kind of roll back in his head. And I'd get nervous at first. And then I would turn him on his side slowly. And then he would come out of the seizure and he always had a giant grin on his face, like he was happy it was over, or hey, that was cool. I'm not sure which one.
Evan's known for his smiles.
Yes, he is.
All right, so you guys, you were high school sweethearts, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit when you first met each other.
Well, I was a sophomore in high school, and I think Daryl was a freshman. I'm a little older than him by 18 months, but I live in a city in central Maine, and he lives in a town in central Maine. So I happened to go from my city with my friend to babysit with her in the town where he's from. And all of a sudden, his house was like kitty corner from where I was going to be babysitting. Then I noticed him on the steps, and I went, "Whoa, he's hot!" And I said to my friend Mary, "Wow, who's that?" She said, "Oh, that's Daryl." I go, "Wow, he's nice looking."
What did you think when you met Mom?
I thought she was terribly cute. And the first time I met her, I saw her in the car, but it was just a pass by. So she was across the street in that woman's house. And when I went over to see what Mary had asked to see me, her friend, and was going to invite me to a party. So I went over to see what she wanted, and I looked in the window and in the door, it was a screen, and Mom was standing there washing her dishes. The Aunt Kay was crippled. That's who owned the house. So she was washing the dishes, and I said, she's kind of cute.
And when he was at the screen door, my legs were shaking. I was so nervous because he's here.
So show me the bracelet that Dad had you made. All right, I'm going to come in really close. Sylvia and Daryl. So when did you get that?
Oh man, this has a lot of memories and special. I'm so important. It's an important thing to me. I got this at a fair, a local fair, and it was like I was 17 and he was only 15 and a half. So I've had this for so long, and it meant a lot to me. He had the guy monogram it with our names. So I still wear it at this time. I'm 76 and I intend to make sure that my son Daniel gets this when we pass on.
All right, I've heard a story about you guys at Popham Beach. It's the local beach in Maine. They have unique tides, and there's a rock island that when the tide goes out, you can walk to it. So tell me a little bit about the story and have it family friendly.
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, Mom and I used to walk that beach. Sometimes we were the only people on the whole beach before it became a state park. So we were there, and that area that opens up was open. It was low tide. So we went over to we loved it over there. The far side of the island has tremendous waves and they splash. It was a place to just go and zone out and be together. Well, we were together longer than we thought. We were talking and having a good time, and I said, we probably better head back home.
We
So-
did a lot of making out on the island.
Well, family friendly. Anyway, we came around back to the other side of the island, and I looked, and that whole open area was covered with water, and it was fairly deep. So we would have either had to stay there for another 6 hours for a low tide again, or find our way across. And the water was, it's got to be a couple hundred yards.
And I remember
across
saying,
there.
I'm really scared because I can't swim very good.
So she was so tiny, I just got down and she got on my shoulders. And we started walking, and I had to very carefully step. And I thought, what if I hit a drop off?
The water was up to your
It was
chest.
all the way up to my chest, but we made it across to the beach.
And I said, my hero.
So, you guys live in Florida now.
Yes.
Yes.
It's coming up 10 years you've been down there.
We've been there 8 years in January.
Okay, so there's a unique history with you guys and Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, did you move down there when you were young?
Yes.
Yes, we lived there in the 70s initially. And our boys, Daniel, the one that's making this video, was like 3 years old.
We had a stroller. for
And
him.
we had a stroller. We took him to Disney. And Christopher was like 5.5. And believe it or not, most people would say I'm an unfit mother, but we took Daniel as little as he was on Space Mountain.
There was
And
no
that's a roller
restrictions
coaster.
back then.
Right,
There
there's
were no
that's a
restrictions.
roller coaster in the dark.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to faze him. He never screamed or anything.
So now you're down there, and it's the 50-year anniversary of Disney. So,
Yes.
So you were down there when they opened, and now it's 50
we were
years
down
later?
there. We lived there before the grand opening, and that's the day that we went on that ride with our children.
The amazing part about being there back then was like 1972 or 73. When they opened, it cost $11 per person to get into Disney World.
Now it's about $12.50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
try a
plus
100,
150
maybe $35, maybe 150.
So your anniversary's in May,
Yes,
and what does that make?
it makes 55 years.
Yes,
And I always refer to that as a good start.
yes. It's awesome.
And we're going to Puerto Rico for that event.
You guys enjoying Myrtle Beach?
Oh, we
Myrtle
are.
Beach is
This
fantastic.
wonderful. I think this is better than Florida beaches.
And we've been here before with them, with Daniel and his family, but it was always cold, but God smiled down on us this time. It's in the 70s, and we're having so much fun. They're keeping us so busy. I'm not getting my normal afternoon naps.
Who cares?
Okay, happy anniversary, guys. I love you.
Love
We
you too. Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.